Hi guys, I'm Anna, the Nana Chick, the chick you don't know yet. Sorry, I paused a little bit to make sure if it was going or not. This video is how I did my makeup in high school / middle school, and I will be posting pictures like off to the side of my old pictures that I used to take a lot on really old phones and digital cameras. And I only have two piece of clothing articles that I had through high school. I do want to point out that yes, I've gained weight since I was in high school. So I'm gonna throw this on, and I still have this tank top from Maurice's that I got when I was either 15 or 16. I used to have a white one. Honestly, when I first got it from Maurice's, it did not fit me. I had small boobs, and I just was this little, I wasn't itty bitty like you'll see in my pictures that I post here. I had natural, like, wide birthing hips. I just had those natural, and everybody was like, you got love handles, you're so fat, you need to lose weight. Like, I was 120 pounds. Give me a fucking break. Like, those are how I naturally looked. My hips were naturally wide, and I just always had like this fat, which I was just really bony. And I'm not big boned, I was just really, really awkward. I was very awkward shaped, and it's hard to explain. You'll just see it in my pictures, and like back then, I'm like, wow, I'm so fat. All because of my hips were so wide, and they just look so awkward in the back. And I've gained weight. I was 190 pounds this time last year. I may have said this in a video before. I was 190 pounds, and now I'm 172 pounds. And again, I don't really exercise a whole lot, but I eat healthier than what I'm used to. So I'm eating a lot more vegetables and fruits and taking vitamins, but I don't exercise the way I used to, the way I like to. I love exercising inside of my home, but I'm doing everything I can not to get kicked out of this apartment, and I love doing jumping jacks, so that's just a huge no-no. And I know some people are like, who cares? I do. I don't want to end up out on the streets just because my neighbors are pissy, but that's okay. I'm gonna move on. It's like a 5-minute intro. I'm just, okay, let's go. But this is what I would wear. I would wear like a safety pin in the back, but I couldn't just wear it like how you're like naturally. Like, I couldn't wear them without that because they would just fall. It would just fall down. That's not a pretty sight. It's not inappropriate pretty sight. I got this shirt when I was 17. It has like pockets, and this is pretty much the last shirt. I will post a little picture of me wearing it when I was skinnier right here. And to be honest, when I was skinnier back then, it didn't fit me the way I want it to fit me, like a sweatshirt should, because it came from Forever 21, but I found it at Goodwill, and it still doesn't really quite fit me, obviously. But I refuse to get rid of it. So I'm not gonna like do my hair like how I did my hairstyles back then, because my hair is so greasy right now. Like, it's up in a ponytail, and it was straightened, and I just really need to get in a shower. So that's why I'm deciding to do this video. I'm gonna cake my face with makeup and then wash it off and then jump in the shower. Hairstyles back then, there's one thing I used to do. I would get in the shower. Like, I always brush my hair before I got in the shower, and I would get in the shower, and then I'd get out, and then I would dry it, and then I would always put like I think it was like Herbal Essence. It was like some purple package. I'm gonna like post a picture of that here. I don't have it anymore, but it was like scrunching cream, and it smelled so good. And I would put that a little bit in my hair, and my hair is super, super thick. And I would like put my hair upside down, and I would just crinkle it up, and while it was wet. And then I would just kind of like try to do one of these numbers. I don't know if I have pictures of me wearing this bun, but then I would like put a hairband around, and sometimes it didn't turn out the way I wanted it, so I'd like redo it to the point where it looked like a hot mess. Like, it's messy but cute. And a lot of people actually complimented me. And then when I took it down, my hair was just this big, thick, poofy, wavy mess. And like, as long as I like styled it to the way I wanted it to, it would look so pretty. It's weird. Like, some days it's just like, ooh, this is not, like, it didn't do the way what I wanted it to do. English. Some days it looked pretty, some days it didn't so much. I used to just like straighten it, or in a couple of times where I would like wear a bandana around my head and I'd try to get that same look. Here's a picker. Oh my goodness. I wore dumb accessories like those 3D glasses, those black 3D glasses, picture here. And I wore chains as a necklace. Chains that was supposed to go from one belt loop to the other to give you that edgy, cool look. I think it came from Abidon, but I'm not too sure. Remember when Avril Lavigne had the Abidon clothing line at Kohl's? I think that's where those chains came from, but I remember hooking it and wearing it as a necklace. So let's get down to the makeup. So I wish I had the exact same products that I used back then, but I don't, except for the eyeliner, just the Avon crayon, and I only use it for like my waterline. That's not what I did back then. Back then, I used this for the top of my eyelids too, and I would use this to try and do wings very, very poorly. And then there was at one point where I would use these in my eyebrows. But for my face, I used just liquid foundation. I wish I could remember which one I used. I would use a powder, and I remember at one point using Bare Minerals, like foundation powder, which right now I'm gonna use, right now I'm gonna use Marc Jacobs, which I found at Marshall's. I'm not bougie. Sometimes I would use a, like those cheap, like wedgie sponges. We did not have beauty blenders until maybe I was like 17 years old, 16 years old. But I used these, or I would just use my hands. I didn't use face primer. I'm still not a beauty guru. Don't get me wrong. I still don't know what I'm doing. But my shade was always slightly off, which I still have those days. I am not some bougie person that goes and spends $30 on freaking foundation, but I'm also not shading anyone who does. It's just not in my price range. It's okay. It works. It's in my mouth. Oh, didn't do my neck at all either. So, most of the time, it's in my mouth. Most of the time, I pretty much just did this. Also, another thing I did was that. Didn't know what setting powders were, didn't know what setting sprays were. But I did pick up on the little skill of putting foundation powder over on top of my liquid foundation. So back in the day, I'm gonna post a picture right here, posting a picture right here of how I overplucked my eyebrows. Look how hilarious I look. It's okay, you can roast me, it's fine. Nobody roasted me back then. Okay, so we're gonna go in with this powder foundation. Oh, this is awful. It's okay. Going in strong. Oh, I forgot to do my concealer, which happened a lot in high school. There were days where I would wear this and only this. I'm just gonna apply that right now. And I would literally just apply it like this. And then I would just do this. And then I would just do that. Oh. Okay, so for some of my looks, I would try to keep it as natural as possible. And I would just pretty much just go in And I don't have really any products that I would use back then other than maybe like this CoverGirl. Like, I haven't had it this long, but I've had one kind of like this. But I'm gonna use Maybelline because I did have some Maybelline as well. And I'm just gonna go in and do my mascara the way I did it back then. So it's on. So back then I basically just went like this. Sometimes I still do that, but nowadays I do a little more of like the whole blinking technique and the side-by-side Swifty technique. Like back then I didn't do any of that. I would just go in on both of my eyelashes and just cake on mascara. And I'd always get comments on my eyelashes like, wow, they look very spidery today or very clumpy. But I didn't care. But here's my natural look. Okay, so I went back in. Sometimes I did use more than one mascara. Was that upside down? My bad. So I never ever once used an eyelash curler. I honestly still don't. And sometimes I would just wear my makeup like this. Oh, did I just get some on my skin? This side is so wet, I can feel it. That sounds really, really weird. Really, really weird. Ooh, like, may I help you? May I help you? Cats. Okay, so I'm going to do my eyeliner. I'm running out of battery. So I'm gonna do this real quick. This is my natural look that I would do. Right now I'm just gonna do like, I used to just basically put this on my waterline and sometimes underneath and then sometimes on my lid, just using this. You're gonna just keep hearing Simba meow in the background. So here was just the waterline look. Yep. Picture right here versus did I do it? I remember comments of people being like, why is your face orange? And I'm not getting the whole orange effect. Maybe I am. Do I look pale or orange? I don't know. Excuse you, sir. I did nothing with my eyebrows. Obviously, I overplucked. Here's a picture if I didn't post it before. You're just living such a horrible life, aren't you? Yeah? Yeah, look how much he doesn't eat. You look like you're starving. Okay, so some days my wings with the crayon would look like this, and some days it would just look like that. And there were times where I would try and like smudge it, like to make it look edgy. Like, yeah, I meant to not do it like perfect, so I would look edgy. And speaking of edgy, I did looks like this and this. And if there's any more pictures that I missed, like embarrassing pictures, selfies that I did back then, I'll post it at the end after the outro. So if you're interested in looking at all those photos that I missed putting during the video, they'll be at the end of the video. There is a picture right here of me wearing lipstick. So I basically just had some off-brand, no label lipstick. I don't know where it came from, but I'm just gonna choose a random red and just slap it on, just slap it on. This is literally the only red I have in my makeup bag. So how I did my lipstick back then, it was just putting it on and blotting, and that was it. I didn't do my corners or anything. Nope. I think that's just basically how I did my makeup. So how I very first started filling in, oh, it went all the way in. Oh, it's starting to come out. Okay, cool. So how I very first started filling in my eyebrows, which is a little bit in 2014. I think I started mainly in 2015. And 2016 is when I finally started using like natural colors. Like, it didn't look terrible with the black, but there were some days where just like it was so like bam, like out there and in your face. So basically I would just like shade it in and then just go over it with a Q-tip. When I come back, I'm gonna have black. black eyebrows. I kind of look normal. Basically, I still don't use eyeshadows. I never really used eyeshadows back then. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I didn't really wear a whole lot of lipstick back then. Just occasionally would wear red. I wear a lot of nudes, like today. Meow. If you are not yet subscribed, you can subscribe to me and hit the notification button so that way you are notified when I post. It is the weekend recovering after Thanksgiving, so I hope everyone had a very nice Thanksgiving. I hope it was a positive Thanksgiving, and I hope y'all are just staying really, really safe and healthy. And I keep rambling. I'm so sorry. Now I'm gonna see you in the next video. Now I'm gonna go. Bye. Awkward goodbye.
But I'm not a superhero. I'm not that kind of guy. But I can save you, baby. Give me a try. 'Cause I'm running